everyone. I'm sure you all know I'm Ginger Burr from Total Image Consultants, and I am here with my very dear friend, Iris Van Ooyen, and we are talking to you today about shining. You know, it's so funny because when I got dressed to do this, I just realized I was going to take it very literally. I was going to put on my shiny top. I totally forgot because I'm madly in love with this top right now. So I've been wearing this jacket. I've been wearing it like all the time. But our question to you is, do you let yourself shine? And do you even know what that means for you? Because for everybody, you don't have to take it literally. Like I was going to, for everybody, it's a different thing. We're going to talk about whether or not you tone yourself down. And if you do, how that can affect your life. And the reason we're talking to you about all of this is that Iris and I are doing a workshop together called Shine that will be happening on April 9th. And we'll tell you more about that as we go along. But I want to welcome Iris. I'm so excited to talk with you. She's from the Netherlands, in case you all don't already know that. So welcome.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here. And it's one of my favorite topics because I think as we grow up, somehow we're often told to not be too much, just take it easy. We have this Dutch saying, like, if you do normal, it's crazy enough. The tall puppies and all that. So I think there's so many expressions and ways that we are, as we grow up, taught to not be too visible, not be too present, not be too much of ourselves. And I think that's a pity. And I believe that all of us are happier and like our best self when we are exactly who we are, however bright we choose to shine, and learn how to undo some of that conditioning that we grew up with.
Yeah, I know when I was growing up, the big thing then was, don't get a swelled head. Don't put it out there too much that you're fabulous. And, it was a sign of the times. And I think a lot of women who are around my age, that was something that was just taught to them just naturally. And I understand the purpose behind that was to be a little more humble and not brag and all of that. But I think what happens for a lot of us is that we don't always then know who we truly are or how to shine. And one of the things I know when we do this workshop, you'll be working a lot with the inner and how people tone themselves down. And I'll be working with, of course, I do work with the inner, but I will, in this case, will be working with the outer and how we want to show up in our bodies visually out there. Oh, and Josie's here. Hey, Josie, great to see you. Oh, so fun. And thank you. So Iris, tell us a little bit about what does it mean to tone ourselves down? I know you alluded to it a little bit just now, but what would somebody be looking for to know if they are toning themselves down?
So it often looks like playing small, not putting yourself fully out there. If you have a hesitancy to become fully visible, if you have a tendency to just maybe be a little bit too modest, if you have something to say and maybe you're not speaking up, or you are being very generous about letting other people speak first. But I also believe it plays out in our energy, like how we are allowing ourselves to be literally physically present. Like, how present are you when you are in the room with someone? Are you really present, or are you kind of like leaning back in the energy a little bit? Because I know a lot of people do, and it's so unconscious because we've been trained to do that and not be like fully present, fully visible, and tap into all of our energy, all of our possibilities, all of our talents. And whether that's through the way we dress, which is your expertise, obviously, or whether it's the way that we like our posture, whether it's the way we speak, the way you even look. I mean, it affects pretty much everything. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that if you tone yourself down, there's something wrong with you, or it's only like the very sad people that tone themselves down. It's like 99% of the population. There's very few people who shine 100% all the time. And in fact, I think the people who do, we all know them.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it really, shining can mean different things. I mean, both inside in terms of your energy coming out, but also in how you present yourself in the clothing and things that you wear. I remember as a kid growing up, I was very shy. I'm naturally an introvert, which I know a lot of people don't believe, but I am. And I was very shy growing up. And I still remember that there were some parent teacher conferences where my mother would say, the teacher says you don't raise your hand enough. And I was like, I would just kind of sit back and let, oh, that person knows the answers, because their hand would shoot right up. And I'm like, what if I'm wrong? Or, oh, I don't want to speak out of turn, or I should let somebody else do it. Or, and I think that's a way I've learned to recognize that when I do that, because I still have a tendency sometimes to do that, to recognize that more. And I think that's one of the things that you will be able to help people with in this workshop, is identify when they are holding themselves back, and then what the possibilities are, and assuring them that they won't be too much. I think sometimes we worry that we're going to stampede over other people or whatever. And I don't think, when we're being authentic, I don't think there's a chance that will happen.
Correct. No, and I'm glad you're pointing that out, because shining doesn't mean overpowering others. Shining doesn't mean taking away anyone else's light. And it gives me chills. Shining simply means shining your own light, being your true self, and allowing all of you be present.
Yeah. And it's as much about, you mentioned energy, because I talk to my clients about the energy that they put out there. I have one wonderful client who, you can see her on my website, the before and after page, Sharon. She calls it her angel shirt, and you can see the picture. That's her after picture. And she feels amazing in this shirt, and it reflects her inner beauty words and all of that. But I also know that what happens is, because she feels so authentic in this top, that her energy is what is speaking to people. She doesn't have to put it on. It's not something you have to try hard to do. It's just letting your natural self be out there. And so in the morning, you will be talking about how to do that and how to get unstuck. And in the afternoon, I will be talking about, well, we're going to really address body shapes, because that's something I know so many women just feel confused or overwhelmed or unhappy with their body, and feel like there's something they have to fix or change. And we're going to look at, what is it about body shapes, and how can you, I like to look at it as, how do you play with your body shape, so that it's more a positive thing, not, oh, there's something wrong with me and I need to fix that part of my body. Let's look at how to make you shine in the clothing that you wear and feel good in your body and with your energy.
Yes. Yeah, and I love that. And I mean, and I know for myself, and I'm sure people watching this might have similar experiences, where you put on a certain shirt or a certain dress and suddenly you feel like $1 million, because it just really literally makes you shine. It just makes you feel like you're on top of the world, and because it just fits and it just suits who you are. And I'm sure that it's probably you stumbled upon something that is a good fit for you in your body shape, if it makes you feel that good. But yes, I think it's so important to address the inner and the outer, the way that we show up in the world in every way.
Yeah, they go hand in hand, definitely.
Yeah.
So who would you say, coming from your perspective of what you're going to be addressing, who would you say this Shine workshop is ideal for? I mean, who would benefit from? I know you said like 99%, but so that people can go, oh yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me. Like, what are some of the things they should look for?
If you would like to become a little more visible, you know that you're not putting yourself out there as much as you probably could. If you feel that you don't feel radiant all the time, you don't feel like you're shining, often it's like, it's okay, it's nothing really wrong, but you don't feel on top of the world at least a few times every day, then there's just really more room for you to be more of yourself and to allow more of yourself to shine through. If you feel hesitant, sometimes feel like you could use a little extra confidence, some insecurity, but it's not just about insecurity. It's really a feeling, a knowing that there's more of you, but you're not showing it.
Yeah, talk about chills. I love how you talk about chills. That gave me chills when you just said that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's like, I mean, there's many more options, but I think that's like major reason. And obviously, as you said, I love chills. I think if you listen to this and you feel like I think it's for me, that's like the biggest sign that you could have that this is a right fit for what you might need now to take that next step on your path and grow and put yourself out there.
And you will actually be working personally with people who want your help personally. I mean, you'll be presenting information, but you also will be there to help them address and personalize the
Yes.
experience, right?
Yes, I'll help people get clear on like, so what is it that's my stumbling block? And it's either a limiting belief or it's a fear, something you've picked up along the way that makes you think it's a safer bet to not shine fully and that it's a better option. And taking away the stumbling block or the obstacle that stands in the way of you shining fully really is very healing. We'll do a healing exercise for everyone that I'll guide you through. And it just frees up so much energy because when you are not allowing yourself to be fully there, it's like you are like contracted. There's some constriction in the energy happening. When you allow that to open up, I mean, even if you do that with your hands, you can sense like, oh, there's so much more ease and flow and um, like relaxation in your body that's happening. Literally, it's costs a lot of energy to tone yourself down, to keep hitting the brakes all the time, to hold yourself back. It's exhausting, but we don't realize it because we do it all the time, so we don't see the difference.
You know, I've done a number of programs with you, and I have had the pleasure of hearing a lot of your meditations, activations, those kinds of things. I have to say, and I'm not just saying this, that because you and I have known each other for a very long time, like over
Yeah.
10 years, and your your meditation activations, those things, they're some of my favorites. They are some of the most powerful, gentle, opening. I keep wanting to go back to them, and I just finished your book, which is called Radiant, and I just finished your book, and in there you have links to some of your meditations.
Yes.
And so I love that you will be doing that because I think it does really help people to get to the heart of what's going on for them and to allow them to see the possibilities, and then you can walk them through those steps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's you can do this and not touch that layer
Yeah.
because otherwise it's just head and knowledge. But we have to like dive a little deeper and shift the energy because I believe when you shift the energy, everything shifts with it.
Oh
So
my
that
gosh. It is so about shifting the energy. Absolute inner and the outer. I mean, when you make inner and outer changes, it is about shifting the energy. If you don't shift the energy, and tell me if I'm wrong, I really think it's more about trying to do things by willpower alone. And
yes,
believe me, I am the queen of willpower, the queen of determination, the queen of efficiency. And there are times where that can get exhausting. You have
yes,
to shift the energy. And I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's hard for us to do that on our own.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of the reasons why it's hard to do it on your own is because we're often blind for our own like limiting behavior or beliefs because they're with us. They become transparent. We literally don't see them. It often takes someone else to be able to point that out at you.
Yes.
Plus, it's my experience, especially with deep healing. Um, I know I'm good at helping people get to a deeper layer that they just cannot access on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes we don't know what we don't know, or we can't access what we just don't know is even there to access. And that's where you come in. And that's where I can come in. Because a lot of times people with their clothing, they've just been doing the same thing. You mentioned, basically what I call settling for good enough. And we do that energetically. And we also do that with our wardrobes all the time, all
Yes.
the time. And what happens then is you just end up with a wardrobe full of good enough. You never feel that amazing feeling that you referred to earlier. And that is, think of a time when you just felt like, you were it. You could rule the world. You felt amazing in general, not that you were going to go out again and be inappropriate, but that you were just going to be you.
Yeah.
And that is, and also in terms of reflecting that in the clothing that you wear, like with Sharon, she was able to tap into who she is on the inside and express that on the outside. And I know the reason I'm really focusing here on body shapes, and I've been reluctant to do that for a long time because it's a topic that's confusing and somewhat complicated out there, and there's conflicting information. And so we're going to really get to the heart of body shapes, because I did a survey a while ago. I found that 97% of the women who answered my survey, and hundreds answered it, said that they felt that knowing their body shape would help them to dress better. But over 50% had no clue what their body shape was.
Yeah.
And even those who did were like, but I still am not quite sure what tools to use. And that's what we're going to get into, is what are the tools that will help you, again, to play with your body shape, not to try to fix anything. I don't believe we have to fix anything. And I have some stories I'll be telling in that class as well. And it's an opportunity I'll be right there to answer specific questions. Like if I want to, draw more focus to my shoulders, how do I do that? Or if I want to, accentuate my waist, how do I do that, but not have my hips feel bigger? What, I'm putting lots, everybody's got a different thing about their body. And so we can play with those possibilities. And the other thing I want to say briefly is that this is pretty much an all-day workshop. It's a 5 or 5.5 hours. We will take a short break in the middle, and there'll be little tiny breaks on either side when you and I are working with people, but we go very in depth with this. And that's the point of it, is it's not just let me throw some information at you. It's let's really get to the heart of things.
Yeah, it's total immersion. And I'm so glad we're doing this together, because I really believe that the two components first will work on the inner, and then people are ready to go run with all your insights and tips. And I'm just reminded of in Boston when we did the Shine workshop live, and just seeing what changed for people for not just like all your wisdom, but sometimes really practical pointers that you were able to give, or some confirmation, or where people had adopted a belief that something was right or wrong for them, which wasn't entirely true, and then seeing you help them get to that clarity. And I believe that you're just like a magical fairy in helping people get dressed and know what to wear, because I think when people say, I have no clothes, I have nothing to wear, what they're actually saying is, I have nothing to wear that reflects the way I'm feeling right now. And I think you're able to match those two.
Yes, absolutely. And by the time we get through the morning session, they will feel more free in who they are and feel more ready to understand like what helps them shine, and then to get some answers to that too. And I do also want to make sure people know this is a virtual, it's done on Zoom. So this is a virtual program. And also we've timed it so that whether you live on the West Coast of the United States or you live in the Netherlands and anything in between, you can join us. I'm not sure about Australia and stuff. That might be
you might stay up
there, but I think it would be like the middle of the night. It's hard to find a time that works for everybody. But it will be recorded, although you really want to be there live. So yeah, I mean, there's so much that's exciting about this workshop, April 9th, and I will be putting the link in the comments, so you'll get to see that there. So you can easily go and check it out to see if it really is for you. And you can email either Iris or me if you have questions about, will you cover this? Or what if I have this question, or any of those kinds of things. We will help you to figure that out. And the early bird price is going on through next week, I think. We have one more week of the early bird price. So definitely check this out now while the price is still a little bit lower, because then it goes up. So any last words that you want to add here, Iris, to get people excited about our Shine workshop?
Well, I'm just really looking forward to this workshop, because I believe that the world needs people who are fully themselves, who are allowing themselves to shine and be fully present, because I think it not only makes yourself happier, but you'll have a bigger impact on everyone around you. So
Absolutely. And with all that's going on out there in the world, it's important for us to do things that make us feel good. We can still have those heartfelt feelings for the people who are having to deal with all the hatefulness that's happening out there. But we are stronger when we can shine, and we can help people more when we allow ourselves to be ourselves and to shine fully. I just totally believe that. And I've seen where women hold themselves back from, attending an event or putting themselves out there in a leadership role because they aren't feeling confident about who they are. And we need more of us out there feeling
Yeah,
confident. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get chills up and down. I'm so glad you're saying that, because I really feel this is like a call to hearts almost, rather than a call to arms, a call to hearts to all the women out there who I know have something important to do and share. And whether it's in your community, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your family, yeah, we need more of you,
Yeah.
all of you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we would love to see you all at the Shine Workshop on April 9th. And so check out the comments below. And Iris, it's always fun. I'm glad we got to do this today. And I
Me
can't wait
too.
to do this with you next month. And so I hope everybody enjoys this. And we will let us know if you have any questions. And we will see you on April 9th.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.